Hello again, everybody. This is Toby Brockner, founder of V Squared Creative and the V Squared Creative podcast. I am joined today with Neil Patel from CrazyEgg, KISSMetrics. A lot of you guys watching, especially in the digital marketing space, will recognize Neil, recognize his work. I appreciate you being on today with me, Neil. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
So give us a little bit of a background of kind of who you are, where you came from, and what you're doing.
Yeah, so my background is serial entrepreneur, focused mainly on marketing and entrepreneurship, in which I help entrepreneurs market their businesses online, mainly small and medium businesses. I got my start by creating a website on the internet. No one came to it. I didn't have money. I had to figure out how to grow my own traffic.
That sounds familiar.
There you go. From there, I started doing consulting, got tired of the consulting. I eventually transitioned into creating software that helps automate and speed up a lot of these processes.
Okay, good deal. So one of the places that I follow you pretty closely is on QuickSprout. What is QuickSprout? Give us a kind of a thumbnail sketch of that.
It's just a marketing blog where I preach all the latest and greatest stuff that I've been learning or putting it to use, or stuff that may help your own business.
Okay, good deal. And so you started KISSMetrics. When was it? That was in like what, 06 or so?
Not that long. CrazyEgg was 06, I think.
Okay, CrazyEgg.
KISSMetrics, I don't know when, but it's been at least like 6 years old plus.
Okay, and so that was around, basically around the data analytics side of digital marketing, which I think for a lot of entrepreneurs, it goes right over their head. It's not something that they focus on a whole lot. So what would your advice be to, let's say you do have a small business owner, he's kind of looking at, he's starting to drive traffic to his site. He maybe is starting to offer some products and services on an e-commerce platform as opposed to just his brick and mortar store. And he wants to get involved with the data and the analytics. Where would you recommend he start with something like that?
If you're running a brick and mortar business, you want to get started with the data and the analytics, you shouldn't even start there. You can look at your analytics, but chances are you're not getting much traffic. I would just focus on getting more relevant traffic. You can check out SEO, you can check out content marketing, social media marketing. I have a lot of guys on QuickSprout. They're all for free. It teaches you the basics. Focus on increasing traffic, and then from there you can worry about the data, the analytics, optimizing, tweaking, fine-tuning, in essence, so you can get more conversions.
Yeah, and that's sort of a whole nother conversation. I mean, it can really get granular in what you do with the data and how you optimize it. There are a million kind of variables that go along with that. How do you kind of balance all of that and kind of keep track of it?
Well, the way we balance it and keep track of it all is you have to just focus. You have to focus on what do you think is going to actually provide the biggest results. Think of it as a matrix. Whatever's the easiest to work on that's going to yield the biggest results is what you should focus on next. Well, maybe the hardest to do and have a high ROI, which is a ton of things maybe, you do secondary, right? But if something's hard to do and provides a little ROI, you don't want to focus on it.
Yeah, I think we get probably too hung up on those details where we're trying to make it more complicated than it really needs to be.
Yep.
Yeah. So CrazyEgg, tell me a little bit about what CrazyEgg does.
It's just a tool where it shows you where people are clicking on your website, where they're not. It helps you A/B test so you can maximize your conversions as well. So anything related to, hey, here's someone coming to my website, what can I show them or what can I change to generate more sales?
Okay. And how does Hello Bar kind of complement that or integrate in with that?
It's the same thing. So Hello Bar provides elements that you can put on your page or above your page, like pop-ups, sliders, modals, that'll help increase your conversions as well. So both CrazyEgg and Hello Bar are tools that help you convert more visitors into customers.
Okay, good deal. So the digital marketing space is ever changing. It's always shifting and moving. What are you kind of seeing on the horizon as sort of some trends that are starting to take place right now?
The biggest trend I'm seeing is it's becoming more of a pay-for-play type of market. Mm-hmm. Look at some of the most popular social networks: Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. You can put URLs to promote your businesses. Really easy, drives traffic. But the up and coming social networks, Instagram, Snapchat, you actually have to pay to generate traffic to your website. You want to link out from Instagram other than in your bio, you got to advertise.
Mm-hmm.
You want to generate traffic from Snapchat, you have to advertise. So it's becoming a pay for play.
See, and a lot of business owners they kind of grumble about that and get upset. I don't understand that mindset really. I mean, it's always been that way. It's always going to be that way. We have these really amazing platforms at our fingertips, and they're really cost effective too. If you think, I mean, if you look at them, they're compared to say mass media, television, radio, whatever.
Much more cheaper than mass media.
Yeah. So pay to play. Don't be scared of it. Go with the flow. Just try to figure out how to do it. But where the real magic kind of happens is, I think where a lot of them kind of get hung up, a lot of business owners get hung up maybe, is they do pay to play. They don't get the results that they're quite expecting, and they say, well, that doesn't work, and they kind of dismiss it. And that's kind of where CrazyEgg and Hello Bar would kind of come into play.
Right.
With analyzing the data and that kind of a.
That's great. It'll help you generate more sales from all those paid sources or even your free sources.
Right. So tell me about if you can think of something off the top of your head. Tell me about, because you always hear, we had a submit now button that was red and we changed it to yellow and it increased our conversions by 30%. Do you have any kind of crazy stories like that where you've seen just off the chain results from minor changes?
Most of the times, if you're getting off the wall increases from small changes, it usually means there's copy issues. Mm-hmm. So copy is the number one thing that affects conversions from everything we've seen. There's some things that you can do that typically always yield a good result, like your sign-up forms. A lot of people have a lot of form fields. If you reduce them, you should see an increase in conversions. Also converting it to two-step, like name and email on the first step, and then all the rest of the form fields on the second step, usually yields around a 10% lift. So there's a lot of little things that you can do like that should provide a lift. Logging in, like if you're trying to generate leads or get people to sign up to your product or service, instead of having them to sign up with their name, email, and password, you can have them sign up through Facebook, Google, or LinkedIn because they have the Connect like APIs. That usually yields like a 30+% increase in conversions as well.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's a good tip because that wouldn't have really occurred to me to use an existing platform as a login to bump conversions. So that's a great tip. I appreciate that. So you're in this digital marketing space. You're considered to be an influencer in this space. As an influencer, who do you read or follow or listen to kind of keep on the cutting edge of things?
It's more so techniques that I try.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to learn from like people who do postcards or offline media or just browse the internet seeing what other marketers are doing. And I test new techniques. It's not really reading about some of that stuff. Yeah, you can learn some of the basics and advanced stuff on like blogs like mine, like QuickSprout. But to really stay at the cutting edge, you got to just practice on your own stuff.
Yeah, you got to get out there and do it. I mean, there's always that old saying, you can't learn to ride a bike by reading a book. You got to be willing to get on there and fall off a little bit. Okay, so the getting out and doing it, just sticking with it, optimizing constantly. I would imagine that testing constantly is a huge part of your life.
Yes, we run at least, my guess is like 4 or 5 tests a month on the slow end, and then it goes up from there. Okay,
good deal. So I wanted to ask you kind of a little bit of a personal question. You're in your around 30 or so probably right now. If you had to go back to 20-year-old Neil, knowing what you know now, what would you tell him? What kind of advice would you give 20-year-old Neil?
Execute fast and focus.
Yeah.
I tried doing one too many things instead of focusing on one business. That's been a huge mistake of mine.
I don't think you're alone there. I'm the same way. I've always said I would have 10 times the amount of money if I would have just stayed one course instead of. Yeah. But entrepreneurs were kind of like that. We were always looking for that next kind of shiny object or whatever. So what's on the horizon for you, Neil?
Just gonna keep cranking away on CrazyEgg and Hello Bar and go from there.
Good deal. And so if people want to get in touch with you, they want to find out a little bit more about what you do, what's the best way to do that?
Then go to quicksprout.com or neilpatel.com.
Quicksprout.com, neilpatel.com. Anything else you want to add? We'll wrap up here. I appreciate your time, but is there anything else you want to add to the conversation?
That's mainly it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I really appreciate you taking time. I know you're busy, and I do appreciate you taking the time out today. I'll drop some links to your sites there in the description on the YouTube video, so if people want to find you, find out what you're doing, they can kind of keep track. I've admired your career. I've been following you for a while now, and I always appreciate the advice that you give and what you're doing. It's been great.
Thank you so much.
So thanks, guys, for watching today. This is the V Squared Creative Podcast. I'm Toby Brockner here with Neil Patel. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.